marketing. So if this is interesting for you, if you're interested in email marketing, which heck, everyone probably should be, this is the video for you. So give me just a second here. I'm going to erase this so we're fresh and clean for today. Make sure we're live here on Facebook in case anyone has any questions as we go through it. And welcome everyone to drop your comments. Let me know you guys are interested in this topic. Let me know if you have any questions as we go through it and all of that good stuff. So give me a second here while I jump onto Facebook and make sure we are live and good to go. All right, so today is email marketing. And we're going to be talking about building out an email list, why you want to build out an email list, cold email marketing, and when and why and how cold email marketing would work really well for you. So we're going to be doing all email marketing. And I might go long on this because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover with email. All right, so give me a second here. We're going live. All right. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about email marketing. So we're going to start with warm email marketing or list building, and then we're going to go into the cold marketing in just a second. So here we're going to start with warm and list building. So warm and then list build. All right. So how do you build an email list? Well, first of all, why would you want to build an email list? Well, the problem with a lot of marketing, whether that's Facebook ads or LinkedIn or organic or Yellow Pages or something like that, you are purchasing other people's traffic, or you're paying someone else, a company, to get access to their traffic. So the problem is if something happens to that platform, you don't have your traffic. You don't have access to those people that you're paying for. This is a great example of Facebook. I was running some Facebook ads a couple weeks back, and Facebook went down, right? And literally the photos didn't work, the videos didn't work. Everyone's complaining like, it's Facebook Armageddon. And the problem is like your ads don't work on that day that's down. So if you're expecting to send out a big announcement or start a big something, right, which was like what I was doing on that day, the problem is you're susceptible to their crashes. If something happens with their platform and it's not working, it's not going to work, right? So that's the thing. That's the problem with using someone else's. But if you have your own email list, if you've built out your own email list, you always have access to those people. Email is never going to crash. Email is never going to be down. I mean, some people's random emails might be down or change an email or whatever. But the thing is like the whole email platform is never going to be down. It's never going to crash. So why would you want to build an email list? Well, you want to build an email list because you always have access to those people, right? You'll always have access to them so you can reach out to them, right? So I'm going to put here access, because access is number one. You'll always have access to people on your email list. Okay, so how do you build out this email? So now that we kind of understand why, what are we going to be doing to that email list, and why do we even have that email list? Well, we want to be able to provide our offer to them, our offer of tax strategy, of CFO services, of XYZ, whatever that might be. We want to be able to offer something to them. So the email is a great way of pitching the offer. So we want to be able to pitch our offer. Now, the problem is, and you've probably experienced this as well yourself, is if someone comes to you directly pitching an offer, it feels salesy, right? Because they haven't built out the relationship with you first. So if you just go in and you pitch your offer, that's the first thing you do, well, people are going to unsubscribe and they're going to mark you as spam, and they're just going to stop reading your emails. So what you really need to do is to warm up that audience and make sure you have that know, like, and trust with that person before you start asking for money, before you pitch the offer. Because if you just go in and pitch the offer, someone's gonna be like, hey, I don't even know this person. Why are you trying to get money from me? You gotta build a relationship with me first. You've probably had an experience yourself, right? So I wanna just kind of put yourself in their shoes and kind of get an idea of what they're feeling, right? So that's the thing, is you wanna pitch the offer, but you really, really, really wanna build the relationship. Okay. All right. So how do you build a relationship via email? Well, first of all, let's take a look at step one. How do we start building out this email list? Well, we could build this out a number of different ways. So we could build out the email list through an ad, right? So let's say a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad or some sort of post organically where we're going to say, hey, if you're interested in this, go to this website and give me your email address, right? Well, not exactly with those words, but that's the idea. So essentially we'd say, okay, let's say you post on a Facebook, say, hey, Facebook, let's say it's a group for real estate agents. So you're posting to a group for real estate agents, say, hey, everyone that's a real estate agent in this group, I just got finished with my top 10, tax cheat sheet for 2019. If you're looking to save money on your taxes for 2019, you're going to want to download this top 10 tax cheat sheet, right? Top 10 tax tips cheat sheet, something like that, right? And then you got a link to it. So then you're going to take them to a link, which is your, what we call landing page, right? And then on the landing page, it's going to have, like here's your cheat sheet, right? Cheat sheet or some sort of ebook or some sort of freebie. And then they're going to have their name and then they're going to have their email, right? So they put in their name, they put in their email, and then what happens is it then builds your email list. And that's the way you can build your email list. And you can do this for free. You can do this for free. You can, like I said, go on to, posting things on Facebook, posting things on LinkedIn, posting things all over the place. You can just say, hey, I've just finished doing this. You post it to your personal profile. I just finished doing this. I want to give this value to you for free. Again, building value, giving away free value, giving away value for free, building the relationship, building that know, like, and trust. Okay, so once they're in your email list, you can get started with the first couple emails, which are the know, like, and trust emails. So I'm going to put right here the KLT, or the know, like, and trust email series or sequence, email sequence. Now, I would give you the template for this, but the problem is that there really is no template for this. And the reason is because they have to know, like, and trust you and not a template that I've created for you. So what you want to do is with the know, like, and trust email sequence is let people know more about you, right? So maybe a history about yourself or why you started your business or how you started your business. If you had an epiphany as far as making, working with certain clients versus other clients. So if you focus on real estate agents, why did you choose choose to focus on real estate agents? If you're, information about 1031s, or, was there a certain client that you were able to do something tax savings wise or something like that just kind of like was amazing, right? Hey, I worked with this client and we did we saved their 1031 by doing this, this, and this, and it saved them $15,000 in taxes, something like that, right? So that's the thing. That's the kind of stuff you want to put in your know, like, and trust email sequence so that you can do exactly that. You can have people know, like, and trust you as you build that relationship with them. So you want to build out that know, like, and trust before you start to drop offers, right? Before you start to drop the offers. Because if you drop too many offers before you built out the know, like, and trust, people are going to drop off your list. They're just going to say, hey, I'm not interested. I don't want that anymore. So how do you do this? Well, you can do this manually, but it takes a lot of time. I recommend a couple different programs. There's MailChimp, there's ActiveCampaign, there's Constant Contact. There's a monkey one too, MailChimp. Lots of these are going to help you out from anywhere from free to $50 a month. And what'll happen is you can start, I can build out the system where someone drops their information here, and then it's going to put their information into that system or that software. And then in that software, you can build out your know, like, and trust email sequence. You can put it in there, and then it's going to drip those emails on that person. So instead of saying, oh, well, someone, let's look at a timeline, right? So if you start this know, like, and trust email sequence tomorrow, and you write out your first email, well, that first email can then go out to everybody that joins on your list the day or two after they join the list, right? So that all the content you've created thus far is not lost, right? Because you can start it on this program and you can say, hey, let's get this started on this day, right? So I'm writing it today, but I'm going to put it in this program. And then when someone, let's say someone registers or someone puts in their email address 15 days from now, well, they're going to get the email that I wrote 15 days ago, but they're going to get it as it was fresh and brand new for them on that day that they were just getting started with the email list. So I hope that makes sense, because then what that does, it allows you to recreate content but also allows you to have a lot of your content that's stored up continually to push out to your new subscribers. Right? All right. So now the know, like, and trust email sequence can go anywhere from 7 to 30 days. 7 to 30 days. And you might say, oh my gosh, Jake, I can't write 30 emails. Well, you don't have to write 30 emails. You can write anywhere from 7 to 14 emails. And then you can have that 30-day every other day if something go out, or every 3 days something go out. You don't have to have something go out every single day. That's okay. You don't have to have something go out every single day. And if you need help with that, let me know. I can give you some examples of a know, like, and trust email sequence. Again, don't try to template this because it's different for everybody. Hold on a second here. Oh, yep, someone was screen sharing. Hold on a second. Let me block that here. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's what we're doing with the know, like, and trust. So the next thing we can do is after that know, like, and trust, after that the 7 to 30 days, we want to start what we call the soap opera sequence. And the soap opera sequence is basically, think of Seinfeld. Seinfeld was a long-running sitcom TV show, and basically they just have different situations. And a famous line from the show was, George Costanza, he was pitching the idea for the show to someone else. Of course, it was during the show. And he said, what is this show about? And he said, the show is about nothing. And they said, people are going to watch a show about nothing? And George says, yes, people will watch a show about nothing. Because the thing is, if you look back at Seinfeld, is, the show doesn't really have an end goal. It just keeps putting people into situations and then explains how these characters relate to those situations and what they do. So that's the thing. That's exactly what you're going to want to do in your soap opera sequence email or the continuity email. So I'm just going to put soap right here. And I put soap because it's very similar to soap opera. If you look at soap operas like General Hospital, they've been on TV for decades, and they've been long-running TV shows. And the thing is, it's just about stories. Different people, right? Their characters in this show are put in different situations, and the situations are encouraging the people that are watching these shows to interact and to engage and say, hey, I hope this person does this, or I hope that this person does this. And usually the ending of the show is a cliffhanger, and it tries to bring people to the next, encourage people to watch the next episode. So when they do that, you want to do the same thing when you're writing these soap emails, where you want to say, hey, look out for the next email where we're going to be talking about XYZ, right? Or in the next email, I'm going to be talking about this, or in the next email, I'm going to show you how to do this. Or in the next email, I'm going to show you how to save $100,000 in your taxes, or something like that, right? And what you're doing is you're kind of encouraging people to open up the next email. And you want to kind of keep people going with this sequence where it says, hey, you want to look at my next email. You want to look at my next email. So I'm going to put continuation. All right. So why is this important? Well, this is important because the average consumer requires 7 or more touches to work with you, right? So we're talking about marketing and why we're doing this for marketing. Well, the average consumer needs 7 or more touches to be able to say, hey, I know, like, and trust this person enough to want to work with them. So if you can't do that in a situation, in a local situation, in a face-to-face situation, they're like, hey, I saw you, a couple times at this networking event. Now I want to work with you, right? So that's the thing, is that's what the know, like, and trust and the soap opera sequence does, is it gives them a chance to see you and know you, and again, know, like, and trust, build that know, like, and trust with you over the course of a couple days or a couple weeks, right? And that makes sense because then you're kind of building out that relationship and having them learn more about you. And the soap opera, again, the soap sequence just kind of continues that on and keeps that going. All right, I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's how you're going to get your email subscribers, and this is exactly what you're going to do. Now, you might be asking yourself, oh my God, Jake, I can't write an email every day, right? I can't think of new content, or I can't think of XYZ, or how do I do this? Well, there's lots of information out there to help you. And just know that if you're spending some time doing this, then you're investing that time for everybody who's going to be visiting your landing page and getting on your email list into the future. So don't feel like this is going to take a long time. But if this does take you, a couple hours to get started and roll it into, just imagine that, or just think of that investment of time, that couple hours, that's going to go through and make sure that every single person that's interested in talking to you and interested in learning more about you, or that went to this because they're looking for more value and more information from you, all these people are going to continually to get information from you, right? And then eventually down the road, somebody may, hopefully they do, right, reach out to you and said, hey, I saw your article on this, or I saw your email on this, I'd love to get more information. They reach out to you, and then boom, it's a potential client. So, and if you can get a client that's worth at least $1,000, hopefully more, out of something like this, then it makes sense. It makes sense to do that. Because even if it takes you, 10 hours to set this up and to do this, right, but then that 10 hours gets you $1,000 client, you've still made $100 an hour, which is pretty good. And now you've got ROI on it, and it's going to continue to go forward. Every new person that jumps on this email list is going to continue to get information from you. So I hope that makes sense. And again, you got to make sure that this is a good investment of your time, because it's a great investment of, make sure that it works for you. But I'm suggesting that it will, because it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so this is why you want to do it, building a relationship, and you want to pitch your offer. How often should you pitch your offer? You should do 1 out of 4 emails. So every 4 emails, you want to go ahead and pitch an offer, right? So an offer would be a free strategy session. Click on this link to get to my appointment scheduling page, and let's book a time to talk and get more information about my tax strategy services. Or how can I help you save as much as you can on your taxes this year? Urgency, you want to make sure, kind of punch it. Hey, but when this year ends, this will be your last time to save money on your 2019 taxes. You need to contact me so we can make sure we get some tax savings for you here before the end of the year, because if you miss it, then it's gone, right? You just can't save money on your taxes after 2019 closes, something like that, right? So that's essentially what you want to do. All right, so this is why you wanted to build a warm email list. Now let's talk about cold emails, right? So cold emails are a whole different kind of ball game, right? And a whole different animal. So let's do cold email, right? And why cold email works and what you need to do with it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for warm. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in and let me know, right? So that's your warm email. Now let's talk about cold. Now cold is completely different. Cold email is actually sending out emails to someone that you don't know, right? These people are warm because they went to this page and they said, hey, I want this value from you. Give me this value, please. Give me that cheat sheet. Give me that ebook. I'm looking for more value from you. Your cold email is basically sending out to someone you have no idea who this person is. Of course, you have their name and their contact information, but you've never met with them. They've never interacted with you before. So a couple things that are really, really important for cold email. Number 1, never use your personal or your business email address. So never use your current email address. Now, why would I say never use your current email address? Well, it's really important to know that, because if you do send out too many cold emails, people mark them as spam, it can affect the deliverability of your current emails, right? And because we're doing taxes and hey, you got clients on extension, you cannot risk the deliverability of your current email address, because you always want to make sure that you can send your emails to clients, right? You want to make sure that your current clients and your new clients will always get your emails, right? So you never want to risk your current email address to a cold email campaign. So never use your current email. So what you want to do is you want to set up a separate email address. So you want to set up a separate email address through a separate domain. So you don't want to just say, okay, well, if I've got jake@adamsabc.com, right? You don't want to go jake.adams@abc.com or adamsabc.com, because it's still in a domain and the whole domain could be at risk. So you want to set up a new domain just for sending these out. Now, the next thing you want to do is you need to warm up this email list. So you can warm up the email list in a number of different ways, but the best thing to do is just use it to communicate, and you got to go back and forth. And you want to warm up this email campaign for about 2 weeks. So So you want to warm this up, and you can warm it up by using it off and on throughout the day. But essentially what you want to do is you want to show to the spam servers, show to the email servers that you are a real person and that you're really communicating, you're having valuable conversations through these emails, and you're not just creating a new email address to spam a bunch of people, right? Or send out unsolicited messages, right? So you want to warm up the email, right? And like I said, this takes about 2 weeks. Okay. Then we're going to want to use a program that's going to help us send out these emails. And first we got to build a list, and then we've got to send out the emails. So number 4 is building out the list. You can build out the list a number of different ways, but I usually like to recommend Yelp. So essentially, let's say you want to focus on painters. Well, you can go to Yelp and you can type in painters in wherever, right? So if you're in the Atlanta area, you say painters in Atlanta, and go to Yelp and say painters in Atlanta, and it's going to show you hundreds and hundreds or thousands, depending on how far you want to go and how many painters are there, but you're going to get all the information for all those painting companies. And then once you got the information for the painting companies, that's the information that you're going to then put into your program, and then it's going to send out those emails, right? So first of all, you got to build out the list. Like I said, it's super easy. You say, hey, I want to look for painters in Atlanta. You just go to Yelp, painters in Atlanta. Yellow Pages works the same way, painters in Atlanta. Build out the list. Number 5, you want to use a program that's going to send out these emails. So you don't have to, because sending out the same email repetitiously gets very annoying, right? So there's a really good program that we use. It's called Woodpecker. Woodpecker, and I think it's .com or .io or something like that. So look up Woodpecker email, and then essentially what Woodpecker does is it sends out these emails for you. And what it does is it's really cool because it times out the emails and it spaces them out every couple minutes. So it looks more natural. Instead of just sending out 50 emails at one time, which looks unnatural to an email server, it's saying, hey, I sent out this email, 5 minutes later, I sent another email, 5 minutes later, I sent another email, which if you look at normal email usage, that's kind of how normal email usage works, right? Someone sends out sporadic emails throughout the day, and it's not just like, hey, I sent out 50 in a course of 30 seconds, right? That's just not natural. So what it does, it mimics natural email sending kind of techniques, right? And how you would naturally send out emails. And then Woodpecker also allows you to do analysis on that, right? So analysis. Basically, what you want to do is you want to say, hey, once we send out 50 of these or 100 of these or 1,000 of these, we want to go back and do the analysis and say, hey, how did this work? Did it work well for us? Did it get did it meet our expectations as far as the goals? If not, what are some things that we could do, right? So maybe we want to change around the email a little bit. Maybe we want to change out the list, or hey, painters didn't work, should we go to plumbers instead? Lots of different things you could change around, but make sure that you only change 1 or 2 things at a time, because we don't want to go and change the whole thing. Just make little tweaks at a time, so you can test those 2 tweaks and you can kind of see which one is better, right? So number 6, I'll do test and tweak. All right, so I hope that makes sense. But the cool thing about that is once this works, once you've got this into Woodpecker and this is working for you, it's really, really automated, because all you have to do is keep creating lists or buying new lists, and then take those lists inside and put them into Woodpecker. And then it does it for you, right? So you get the list, you put the list into Woodpecker, and it sends out the emails for you. And then the good email addresses will then forward to your personal email, and you can say, hey, hey, I got a lead for you. Okay, cool, right? Thanks for the lead. I'm glad. That's really cool. So that's the thing. Hygiene on this is really important as far as making sure that your email, your brand new email and the brand new domain stays out of any spam servers or spam filters and things like that. So you're going to want to check that every now and then. And you can do that through a couple different email address checkers. So just do a Google search for email address checkers. But essentially what you're going to want to do is have that sent. You're going to send an email out, and it's going to say, hey, the email that you sent looks like it could be spam, or it's registered as spam on these servers. So if you do that, then you're going to have to clean up that email address, maybe get it off the spam filters, or you're going to want to create a new email address, right? And then you just start back from scratch. Start back from scratch, create a new email address, warm it up, and then get the list and then send it out, right, through the Woodpecker program. All right, so I hope that makes sense for you. If you've got any questions, drop them in here. Let me know. If not, I'll go ahead and close this out. Like I said, I like to try to keep every video around 20-25 minutes to keep it going, and to make sure that it's not too long and intensive for you guys. So I hope that makes sense for you, and why email marketing is really, really helpful, some of the benefits that you're going to get from it. And then, like I said, it's really, email marketing is the really the greatest way of building an audience and continue to have that conversation with the audience, because it doesn't cost you anything, right? Or it costs you very little to keep this communication going, as opposed to, you know, Facebook ads or something like that, where you've got to pay every single time, or newsletters, right? Which print newsletters, which you have to pay to print and to mail out every single time. So this is really good, because then it kind of keeps that conversation going at a very low cost, right? And then with programs like Woodpecker, you can monitor how often people are opening the emails, what's the open rate, how long people are reading the emails. There's certain people that are reading the emails or responding to the emails, you know exactly that they're responding to you. And of course, you can kind of clean that up or make changes to your emails to see which one gets a better response rate, which one gets a better open rate, all those things, right? And again, that's tweaking and testing and making sure that you have the best email marketing system out there. All right, so thanks so much for joining me on this video, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.